guilty on 5 of 6 counts for staging a racist anti-gay attack against himself. A jury in Chicago found actor Jussie Smollett guilty after just 9 hours. It all started back in January 2019. 2 brothers testified that Smollett, who is gay and black, orchestrated the assault and paid them $3,500 to do it. Smollett claimed the money was for meal plans and personal training. The Empire Star took the stand. He told the jury, quote, "There was no hoax." They didn't buy it. A judge will decide his fate. He could spend up to 3 years in prison. Let's bring in Jeff Lax tonight, attorney and law professor at City University of New York. Jeff, the jury got this verdict done in just 1 day. Lickety-split. Legally, was it the right one?
I think so, Chance. You know, the media focused on a lot of the salacious stuff, whether he had a sexual relationship with one of the attackers, which is really wholly irrelevant to me, and some of the stuff that's kind of relevant, like whether he was beaten up, whether he had bruises on his face, which we didn't see in the TV interview that he did days later. But to me, what really stood out, and what I'm convinced stood out to the jury, was when you are accusing somebody of a hate crime, and he was accusing these people of horrific things, homophobic slurs, racist slurs, he didn't fill out a criminal complaint for a hate crime. That's very odd for somebody who's alleging something so horrific. So I think sometimes it's what the defendant doesn't do that really stands out. And instead of focusing, you know, the juries take these jobs very seriously. They don't care about the salacious stuff. When they're sitting in the room, they care about what was really going through Jussie Smollett's head. And I bet they talked about, why didn't he fill out a hate crime complaint?
That's interesting. I hadn't thought of that. Although I know you said it's irrelevant, but to say that you'd had multiple encounters of sexual relationships with this man who confessed to doing this to you, and you say you didn't recognize the voice, the form, the person, you know, that seemed noteworthy to a whole lot of people. But let me ask you this. There are special punishments for committing a hate crime. Are there special punishments for faking hate crimes?
Yes. In fact, counts 1 and 3 of the charges against him, which he was convicted on, were specifically for hate crimes. You can imagine, Chance, obviously, when you accuse someone of a hate crime, that's almost as bad as committing a hate crime if it's false. I mean, you're making horrific charges against somebody. So, yeah, these crimes, 1 and 3 specifically, were geared towards hate crimes. So there are additional crimes on top of counts 2 and 4, which were just falsely making statements to the police about batteries. So, yeah, these were enhanced crimes based on the fact that he was alleging falsely a hate crime, yes.
You know, this story broke, and it was huge. And in 2019, there was this outpouring of support. Then candidates Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, saying, you know, we're all with you, Jussie. If he would not have refused to hand over his phone or a DNA sample or these things, do you think police would have ever uncovered it?
Well, that's an interesting question, Chance. First of all, I hate when politicians get involved in cases like this, especially when juries are not sequestered. Juries are human beings. They hear things. It affects them. So whichever side of the aisle it's on, it really bothers me as an attorney when because politicians are very influential, they have an impact. They shouldn't be saying anything to begin with. But what did they uncover the evidence? Maybe there are lots of sneaky ways to get DNA, as we've all seen on CSI and shows like that.
Right.
But the phone, it's interesting. There are other ways to get that. You can get it from the other people's phones sometimes, so we don't know for sure. But I do agree with you, it had an influence, and they shouldn't be speaking out of hand.
Final question here. In all likelihood, I've read no prison time?
Again, it's all speculation. You know I hate to speculate, Chance. But one thing I will say, I would love to see this judge give court-mandated counseling to Jussie Smollett. That happens sometimes when someone's a danger to themselves. And the thing, I don't think, me personally, if you're asking my opinion, would I give him prison time? I can answer that. I really wouldn't. I think he's disturbed. I think that he certainly might, I'm not a psychologist, but might have mental issues. I would like to see him deal with this and get counseling and not do it again rather than prison time. So, yeah, I agree that he should probably get probation, maybe some community service. I would really like this judge to see him get some counseling and hopefully we can come back from this and show everybody that, you know, he's a serious actor, a good actor, and a good person, and he learned from this.
And he's a great actor. And as you say, if he does have a problem internally, that maybe they can help him get on the right path. Attorney Jeff Lax, as always, thank you.
Thank you.